So I was a massive science nerd growing up, so it was a surprise to everyone that I ended up working in PR. I studied science and science communication, and science communication is kind of like PR for science. So it's pretty much the best start you can get in applied PR, because if you can make ideas like genetics and pharmacology relatable to the public, you can pretty much make anything relevant to the public. I was really lucky. I got to go on a Rotary exchange to Malaysia, where I got to see a number of different PR agencies and how they were doing things in the Malaysian market. And Weber Shandwick was one that I didn't get to go to, but it had been my #1 choice because they just won Digital Agency of the Year. And a lot of the people that I knew that worked at Weber Shandwick were producing amazing thought leadership pieces. And it was somewhere I really, really wanted to see and be a part of. So when I got this opportunity to be involved in Weber Shandwick Indonesia in digital, it was like a dream come true. So my role is Vice President of Digital in Weber Shandwick Indonesia, which means I get to connect the clients with all of the different digital possibilities that are out there. Whether that's web design, app design and builds, could be social media campaigns, videography and graphics. So I get to talk to brand managers about how they can leverage this amazing thing called digital to create some great campaigns. Digital communications in Indonesia is fascinating for a couple of reasons. One is that there's a huge volume of social media posts being produced on Facebook, on Twitter. Indonesians tweet 5th most of any country in the world. Jakarta is the #1 tweeting city and Bandung #6. So to rise above all that noise and produce a campaign that's actually going to get heard is a really big challenge. The second is that some brand managers are a little bit reluctant to embrace digital. So we've ended up being a little bit behind the campaigns that are coming out of the rest of the world. So I always tell my clients, it's great, it's like being able to look into the future. They can look overseas and bring the very best of what's happening over there to Indonesia. There's a lot of technical challenges in Indonesia in digital. The first is that internet penetration isn't too high. It sits at about 20%. So sometimes digital is just not an option to reach markets that you might want to reach. There's also the challenge of people still being a little bit reluctant to embrace digital and struggling to see the connection between increased sales volume and social media and digital media. So there's a lot of challenges on just convincing people and showing them how valuable digital media can be. I'm a blogger, so I can usually be found after work at home writing, or if I'm really lucky, I'll be out at the pub writing. But it can be really isolating working in digital in Indonesia because it's still an emerging industry. So I try and get out and meet all of the different teams that are working on different projects, whether that's film crews or web builders, designers, just to try and keep on top of what's changing and what's going on in this amazing city.